Back to another Blacktastic episode of the People Before Politics show, Sunday Rundown, powered by Black Westchester Magazine. I'm your host, Damon K. Jones, joined by my brother, A.J. Woodson, and bringing that fresh perspective, Larnaz Kinsey. Every Sunday, we pull back the curtain on the issues shaping our families, our cities, and our future, from health and safety to policy and power. It's because our mission is simple. Put the people first, not the politics. It's going to be Blacktastic. They taught us charity, never clarity. Now help the world while we suffer in the dark. Fighting for flags that don't feed our seeds, but can't build one school where our babies can read. We loud for the globe, but silent for home. No plumber, no coder, but a new iPhone. Our pain got turned to a marketing stream, march and scream, but no policy team, red or blue. Man, they both play roles. One lock us up, one leave us broke with hopes. Democrat, Republican, ain't changed the hood. Just new faces, same games, misunderstood. We vote, they win, then forget we alive. They fund everybody, we just try and survive. Our issues trend only after we die. Ain't no savior coming, it's us or goodbye. So I buy black, build back, sow in the earth. Each brick I lay, I honor the hurt. My grandma prays for the day we be free, not just legally, but financially. Put the mask on first, then we lift the rest. If the block ain't strong, how we claim success? Are you ready to put your brand in front of the people who matter? Black Westchester Magazine is your platform. With over 90,000 monthly website readers and more than 250,000 YouTube viewers every month, we give your business unmatched exposure. From email blasts straight to our subscribers, to video commercials, website promotions, and targeted campaigns, we've got the tools to help you connect, engage, and grow. Whether you're a local business, a national brand, a rising entrepreneur, or just promoting an upcoming event, Black Westchester is where culture, community, and commerce meet. Contact us today or scan the QR code and start building with us. Don't just advertise, be part of the movement, be part of Black Westchester, be Blacktastic. Rep the movement. Get your official Black Westchester merch today. Hoodies, tees, and more at blackwestchestermerch.shop. Wear your voice, make a statement. Damon K. Jones exposes the lies and challenges the gatekeepers in black politics in his powerful book, Emotional Politics and Logical Failure. Black America needs fewer emotions and more outcomes. Our communities deserve better. On sale now, get the book or audiobook on Amazon. From the streets of Westchester to the heart of hip-hop, discover A.J. Woodson's powerful collection. Black Westchester, the origin story. We got our own thing. Hip-hop from the 9, 1, 4, and Black Westchester celebrate Black women of Westchester. Available now at blackwestchester.com and on Amazon. Get your copies today. Tolerance is for Cowards by Damon K. Jones. This book is not anti-police, it's pro-community. Discover how the extended policing strategy empowers you to demand real public safety, justice, and accountability from your local police department. Because the black community deserves good policing. On sale now on Amazon and Audible. Discover Jesus and Divine Black Masculinity by Damon K. Jones. This a bold blueprint to restore faith, manhood, and purpose in Black America. Because the black community needs good black men. Available now on Amazon. If you found this, got a sweet tooth? Come to Cupcake Cutie Boutique in Mount Vernon, where every day is a reason to celebrate. Fresh homemade cupcakes baked with love. Stop by 8 South 6th Avenue and taste the cuteness today. If you've been thinking about investing but didn't know where to start, this is your sign. Presented by Black Westchester Magazine and Noir Network, The Ownership Society is a community of like-minded people focused on building generational wealth 1 month at a time. No hype, no gambling, just disciplined investing, shared learning, and real ownership. Whether you start with $20 or $100, the key is consistency. Scan the QR code or click the link in the conversation to join us, download Robinhood, and take your first step toward owning your future. Yeah. Hold on. AJ ain't here, man. We switch to the 2. Yeah. Welcome to Black Westchester Magazine's People Before Politics Sunday Rundown. And I am Damon K. Jones, and our sister, our queen of the show, Lorna Kinsey, is in the house. What's happening?
Good evening, Westchester. What's up?
What's going on? I know what's happening. You know, we just and I guess we got the snow. I always get snow, so it's not even, where I'm at, it's always snowing, so but I see there's snow down there in Westchester, and I saw Mayor Eric Adams doing a little letting people know the snow was coming. So I said, oh man, it got snow down southern New York now. So, I hope everybody gets up out of the snow. But up here, it looks okay. It looks like it warmed up, and the ground is not that bad. I just I don't come out when it snows. It's just, I don't even look out the window. I might look out the window and show some people that it snowed, but I don't come outside, And now with
So front, you don't go outside and clean it?
Huh?
I said, so you don't go outside and clean the front?
No, man. I pay an HOA. They come and shovel and do all that stuff. I don't do that.
You're not getting the full experience. What you mean?
I had the full experience when I was younger. I don't need it. Listen, I got shoulder surgeries, back injuries, all type of stuff. Listen, if I'm going to live now, having an HOA is not, there's pros and cons to it. There's pros and cons in having an HOA, but when it comes to the wintertime, man, it's the best. It's the best because they be having about 8 dudes walking around the complex just doing people's walkways and driveways, and they got this little machine that come out and just take the snow right out of your driveway, and they throw the salt down. They do everything. Now, for big snowstorms, I got me a little snow blower because it just takes them a long time, and sometimes you just I just want to get my driveway done, and but something like this, they knock it out. You hear the plow. I pay for that. I pay for that. I've known too many people that got older. And next thing you know, they done had a heart attack out there shoveling snow. That's a lot of work too. It's a lot of cardio. But now I'm good. I'll get on my treadmill if I need some cardio. I don't have to be shoveling no snow. That was the only reason I would move up here. If it was a house, then I had to spend like $4,000 or $5,000 on the plow and all that other stuff. But no, HOA all the way. If you live up here, but they're real good with the snow in Orange County. They're real good with the snow. They don't play. They do not play when it comes to snow. Getting this snow up here, man. They don't play. I was very impressed when I first moved up here. How they just clean the roads and had all the roads clear and stuff like that. Very good. I have no problem. But I don't come out. I didn't come out when I was working. I used up all my time. You laughing, but it's true. By March, I maybe had like a couple of days left because I ain't come to work with the snow. Even the job knew he's not coming. AJ's not. AJ's nodding. I ain't going to work. I remember it was one big snowstorm, and that's when my daughter lived with us, and she boning up. I said, "Yo, you going to work?" She said, "Yeah."
I was like, Alexa, call the job. Oh man, what happened? I was like, Alexa, call the job. Nah, I ain't coming in. Call in sick. I don't do that. I know a lot of people that got hurt driving to work, and they don't give a damn about you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
I called in yesterday and already had somebody working for me. They were like, "Why did you call in? Somebody was already working for you." I was like, "Oh, I forgot. I saw the snow," and I was like, "Yeah,
exactly.
I'm sick. I can't come in."
Exactly. Yo, when I saw how they treated one of my coworkers, she was driving to work, had a car accident, broke both her hips, coming to work. You know, and it wasn't even like it wasn't even no leniency. Like, yo, you got hurt coming to work. Your hips are messed up. You know, and she literally had, she's working for Westchester County.
So when you're en route to work a half an hour before, you don't get coverage?
Not with us.
Oh, that's crazy. We get coverage.
And they haven't, and they never fought for that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always championed that. You know, but they never.
Like, what you mean? Anything can happen when I'm en route.
Listen,
I'm trying to make briefing.
Well, I don't make briefing. Listen, if you put me on the road in a snowstorm, I get there when I get there. Now, when I first started, it was just like that. They didn't care. As long as you got here, get here safe, take your time. It is what it is.
It's not like that no more.
No, you know, they went corporate, right? You battling the snowstorm, sliding and you get in there and then they dock you. No, what was the worst come? What was the point of me doing all that coming to work? And y'all gonna dock me. Y'all should be happy somebody here.
Well, I believe Queens are never late. So when I get there, I'm right on time.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of times I get a phone call. I'll be like, "You at work?" Nope, I'm just leaving the house now. Maybe racing down.
Exactly.
I was like, "Yo, you ain't gonna catch it." Oh, I get there when I get there. Like, it's snow. They lucky they see me.
Exactly.
Then it got to a point. It was raining too hard. He's like, "Oh, it's raining too hard."
I'm sugar. I might melt.
Exactly. Peace out to everybody that's watching.
I might melt. I'm sorry.
Peace out to everybody. Peace out. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming for the day. But you know, I hope everybody's safe in the snow. Snow's no joke. Driving in snow is no joke. Please take your time and watch, and not just for yourself, but you got to be very worried about other drivers. You know,
don't know what they're doing. Right.
We don't know.
And layer up, like it's cold. On top of the snow, it's freezing.
Oh yeah,
that black ice is bananas.
Well, I don't know nothing about that. I don't come outside. And yo, my son be like, "Yo, Dad, like the one window I got in the basement, I blocked it. So I don't even know if it's day, night. I literally got to go upstairs, right, to figure out if it's light out or not. Because if I stay down here, I would never know. Other than the time, right? Other than, you know, what time is it? You know, then sometimes I'll be waking up thinking it's in the morning and it's at night. You know, but I'm retired. That's what you do when you retire. You know, nobody should hate on retired people. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think anybody's hating. We listening to your story. We renting your lens right now. We renting your lens.
Exactly. So AJ, what's good, man? What's happening?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Yo, so they had some kind of rally in Peekskill yesterday for that situation. I'm having getting the information, working on the story. Once I get all the information, but they got out there and they rallied, you know what I'm saying, calling for so Peekskill is funny, right? So anytime there's anything, you know, that's where most of our comments come. Oh, how would you feel if I started a white Westchester? You know, that's what it's be Peekskill. It'd be coming from
with that.
Yeah. So or they'd be like, So a lot of their comments was like, "Oh, the dude was mentally ill, drugged out, this, that, and the other." And y'all defending him.
The bullshit.
So, and he'll be like, "Yo, and y'all taking his part." And then the one dude posted screaming on News 12 for speaking about it and bringing attention to the situation because the dude was mentally ill. They called him drugged out and this, that, and now the cops are the bad guys. Yeah, if the cops abuse power, yes, they're the bad guys. They're, as Damon always says, they're the professional in the situation. Like you got, they got training and all of that. Like the average person don't have that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they are the professionals and they also are the ones licensed to kill and they've given a whole lot of power. So with power comes responsibility. So yes, they are the bad guys if they abusing their power. So anyway, they all rallied and all that up there yesterday, and I'm waiting for I seen some of the pictures in the video.
I don't know the story.
I don't know the whole story either. All I know is there's a video that the dude, I don't know what he did. He was naked in the park or something. I don't know what he was doing, but they do agree that the officer was abusive in his power and beating him up because he's suspended now.
Right, but here's the thing. Westchester County has a response team for people.
We dealt with that with Jarrell Garrison. We didn't. Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if Peekskill has opted in it because they can't force the cities to opt in. They have to voluntarily opt in to make sure that when they see somebody that or get a call that is mentally ill, they contact this unit first. That's number one. Number two, we've been trying to get Westchester County police departments, police officers to be trained in de-escalation of people that's having mental crisis. The only department in Westchester County that has constant training is the Westchester County Department of Correction. Because we house the mentally ill. That's the new psych ward, right? And we've been doing this for the last 10, 15 years, being trained in de-escalating people with mental crisis and dealing with people with mental crisis. I don't understand how it's taking this long for the county or Tish James, since everybody want to sit here and rah-rah her with Trump, but she's not doing her goddamn job when it comes to these police departments. She is the top cop. She's the top cop. And she's not making any recommendations from her office. Even when it came to the killing of Jarrell Garris, she referred it back to the police department. What is the solution, Tish James? You're the top cop. Make recommendations. When we tried to make recommendations before, and this is why I don't like her. This is why, and no, I'm just making it clear for people that are watching. When y'all talk about, you attacking a black woman, how many black people are going to die with the hands of police before black people hold her accountable? Black women, because these are women's children that are being killed. Y'all black women need to get your shit together. Because on the other side, there are black women crying because their child is even shot at, or killed, or abused by a cop. And the sister that y'all champion ain't doing a goddamn thing about it. When do we hold accountable? When we hold them accountable?
Well, it's a touchy situation because even if the department I work in is a hybrid, right? With corrections, but it's mental health. We are, even though the facility I'm working in has been in existence since 1982, they still developing how to really treat individuals.
So two things. The Damon wrote an article, reminds me of an article Damon wrote. that the politicians are turning the county jail into Arkham Asylum. So if y'all are familiar with Batman, Arkham Asylum. Secondly, Lenez, that last I guess rant, if you will. We used to have a show. We used to come on WVOX. We had the Black Westchester Power Hour, and before Damon would speak, we'd be like, "The words of the host, words of the." They had I don't know if they had it before everybody's show, but they had that before our show every. But no, I feel you on that, and we've had constant conversations about that. Black women will never hold her accountable. The sisterhood, they can kill us all. If there's a Black woman involved in politics, they're going to defend her.
I don't think that's completely true.
That doesn't go for all Black women, but there is.
I don't think
there is somewhat of a sisterhood that but sisterhood, sorority, hood, all that. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know what? It's just like, it's crazy. It's crazy because when the white man held her job before her, everybody was, very vocal and critical. Men, Black men and Black women, they were all critical. The only thing that, Black Westchester's always had this stance, like, because they say, oh, you're tearing down the Black community, you're tearing down the Black people, Black Westchester, news with the Black point of view, doesn't mean that because you're Black, you get a pass. It's just the opposite, because we feel as Black people from our Black communities, you actually should know better. So we're going to hold you to a higher standard. And whether that's fair or not to you or not, we're going to be more critical because we voted you in. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes representation is not enough. We get happy. We vote for. There were a lot of people who voted for Obama because he was Black. Oh, he's Black. They didn't even know his policies. And I'm not saying he's good or bad or not. I'm just saying a lot of people voted. A lot of people voted for Kamala Harris because she was a Black woman. Not necessarily policy-wise, but because she was a Black woman. I don't think we should. I think we get ourselves into situations when we start voting for people just because they're Black. Because I'm gonna tell you, there's some Black people that I ain't never voted for that I know. That and I'm not talking about Mount Vernon. I'm talking about period. There's just things that I would never. We cool. We good. Some of them. There's even a few people that I'm related to that have run for office. I ain't voting for you. I'm telling you straight up. Not because we cool. I've gone to people that run that I've gone to high school with.
Yeah. Wait.
Because we went to high school.
All right. So we just going to jump into that segment since you start talking about Black politicians, because one of the subjects of the day is are Black. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Are Black politics helping or hurting the Black community? Since you broke that up, we're gonna jump into that right now. Are Black politics helping or hurting the Black community? Or
I want to say one more quote. I want to say one more quote. I do not want to hear. Now, everybody's going to think I'm talking about one particular person, but I'm not, because we've been hearing this forever. I don't want to hear we are only picking on you because you're a Black woman. I don't want to hear that from any Black female politicians, period. No disrespect. Yes, there is one particular person who some of our viewers know say that, but a lot of people say that about a lot of women. Like, it can't be. It can't be. You ran for the job. You understand what I'm saying? You're the chief cook and bottle washer. You're the head. You get credit for everything that's good, whether you had anything to do with it. The buck stops with you on the bad stuff too. And yes, we're going to hold you accountable. There's not going to be a pass because you're a Black man, the first Black man, the first Black woman. There is no pass. So I just want to hear. I don't want to hear that no more. We're only picking on you. because you're a black woman. We are calling out balls and strikes. We're calling out issues on policies and procedures. It doesn't matter who you are. You have no problem when you're picking on when it's the white man or it's a black man. So in the same situation, just because the player changed, the game didn't change. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had
no. I think you're absolutely correct, because I had somebody on Facebook, when I posted the article about basically almost to the subject that we're talking about, but I had to.
I almost got jumped at the Black Women's Political Caucus about Damon picking on Tish. Boy, I almost got hung in that.
Let me tell you something. Anybody that's watching, and I'm keeping it 100. I'm trying to be, a follower of Christ, and you got to call the truth. But fuck Tish James, like straight music. I've known her for a long time, and she lied to me in my face. See, once you lie to me in my face, when you said you was going to put Richard Thomas in jail, and you made a deal with him after everything that he did to people in Mount Vernon, fuck you, like straight music. And I'm going to say it, and y'all could clip it. You ain't got to call AJ with what I said, right? I'm saying it myself. And for her, and hold on, AJ, I'm going in again. And for her,
let him cook.
Not to do her job in that position. And when 14 years, we were having rallies for Kenneth Chamberlain Sr. And the last 2 years, I started letting people know, we don't want to hear about Trump no more in the black community. We want to hear about justice. What is justice coming out your office for the black community? Not fighting for Trump, not fighting for immigrants, not fighting for the LGBTQ, not fighting for them to give trans surgeries to minors. Not that stuff you talking about when black boys and girls are being shot at, or killed by police, and you literally say nothing. When you didn't follow the executive order of Andrew Cuomo, when all these police departments, and I wasted 9 months of my goddamn life sitting on a panel, making all these goddamn recommendations, and all the police departments made recommendations, went to your office, Tish James, and you didn't do anything. You didn't do nothing. So all y'all black females watching what I'm saying is true. So when you get mad at me, think about the mothers and the fathers and the families that have lost loved ones to police violence in New York State, and she haven't opened up her goddamn mouth, but she want to talk about Trump. This is going to be a clip, because I'm cutting this to make sure all y'all know what I'm talking about and where I stand. Y'all Negroes got a nerve to say, well, Damon's a Republican. What? Because I'm holding somebody accountable for the death of black people? How ignorant are you Negroes? How ignorant are you to call me a Republican because I'm standing up for mothers who have lost children? This is what we get. This is what we get. And I hear it and I don't say anything. People come back to me, tell me what y'all Negroes y'all elite educated Negroes is talking about. But y'all forget, I stand up for the people that y'all scared to stand up for. Because you worrying about identity politics and worrying about getting not talking about your little sorority sister or your little organizational sister or your Eastern Star sister. Yeah, I said it. And everything I say is the truth. And the only thing y'all gonna say is just get mad at me for that. But I'm gonna stand 10 toes down for the families that have been suffering from police violence, and these politicians do nothing. Literally do nothing. I told AJ, I get tired of writing press releases because the only thing I gotta do is change the name and change the date. The story is the same. The players are just change. And now we're here in Peekskill. with another mentally ill black man. We've been talking about this for 16 years. What is wrong? But maybe something's wrong with me. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm the one that's out of the matrix. I don't get it. 16 years. Somebody tell me something. How can we talk about the same incident for 16 years?
I will say, for all those listening, sometimes Damon's views might be conservative. The things he's talking about right here, he has been consistently talking about, regardless of who was the AG, who was the mayor, who was the DA, who was not just here in New York City. And I will vouch that while a lot of y'all who are talking, when the parents of children lost at the hands of law enforcement, and even some lost to the hands of senseless street violence, you know what I'm saying? Not just police, sometimes at our own hands. Damon is one of the first people they call. I know because I get the call right afterwards. Damon is the one who goes to the mother when the mother can't find out where her son is being because they didn't have a trauma center in Mount Vernon, so they had to send him to Jacoby. Damon is the one taking the mother to the hospital to find her son. Damon is the one who's there comforting the mother. Damon is the one who sits there and has press conferences and brings the attention to the people and has consistently done this the entire time that we've been doing Black Westchester and way before that. So a lot of the issues that he said when he lived in Mount Vernon, he said the same thing. Ain't no white people pissing in my elevator. Ain't no white people breaking into the cars in front of my house. Ain't no Republican. He was saying that in Mount Vernon as a Democrat. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these things, just because the political climate has changed, and because the political climate has changed to the point it is, we're at a point where we can't hear what other people are saying, and we have to write off what they're saying as they're this. Now, his views may have gotten stronger in certain places. We all change our views as we grow and mature. My views ain't the same as when I was 30. I'll be 60 in February. My views ain't the same. My views is quite different than they were when I was 40. You know what I'm saying? So we but everybody, the problem, everybody has the right to feel how they feel, and the problem is now we're at a point where everybody wants to be heard, but everybody doesn't come to the table wanting to hear. You just want to make a lot of to be heard. And that's where we are in these echo chambers, and we're yelling at each other, and that's why nothing is getting done. But this man has fought for. I've been at the press conferences. I've seen the families talk to him. I've been with him when we stood 10 toes down against Pat Lynch in New York City PBA, and at one police plaza. We having the press conference. He's been fighting for this for years. It is just not now. And the political climate has changed, and his address has changed. So now you want to paint him as something else, but he's been fighting for this all along. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to put that out there. Like, a lot of people who talk and complain and talk ish on Facebook, I don't see you at the rallies. I don't see you at the press conferences. I don't see you in the city council meetings. I don't see you in the county legislative meetings. I don't see you in the room where it happens. You can't change nothing by being on Facebook talking junk. You know what I'm saying? And you want to criticize the people that are actually doing it. Ain't nobody perfect. You know, maybe there's some things we could have did a different way, or maybe a softer way. Maybe there's a way we didn't have to come at hard that day. But nobody was doing it. We stood in the gap. Black Westchester was here because we stood in the gap. You know what I'm saying? and the thing I spoke recently, the thing about being black media, you can't be like white media where you just write the story and that's it. You got to be the advocates. You got to be the activists. You got to fight for the people that can't fight for themselves in your community. Nobody asks low-hurt reporters, "What are you doing for the community?" Ain't nobody ever asked Jonathan Bandler what he's doing for the community. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody. I ain't never heard nobody ask him that.
Exactly.
One of the white women at News 12. What are you doing for the community? I ain't never heard you ask none of that. You know what I'm saying? So you know, a lot of people have, you know, a lot of people talk, but they're not there. They're not there. I've seen this man attacked, and he's going after everybody: Democrat, Republican, Independent, judges, DAs, AG. But there's a reason why when Tish ran, that he was asked to be the moderator of the Democratic Candidate Forum for AG. There was a reason why they had him do it. And that is the day, I just want to bring that up. Damon throws this around a lot. That is the day where face-to-face afterwards, he was like, yo, you know, you got to do two things if you want our support. The second thing she said she couldn't do, and we laughed it off, and that we won't even bring that up. But the first thing was put him in jail. She said, you got it. That's done. This is not.
I didn't say it. AJ said it. He was there. So when y'all say that's the witness. So when I say she lied to me,
while the conversation was between the two of them, I was there, right next. You know what I'm saying? Right next to him, and Christopher Johnson's wife. And
what was the question? What do I have to do to get your support?
Right. That was the question. That was the question.
That was her question to me.
That was the question. Yes.
I didn't approach her because I was never feeling her. Because see, people don't understand. I was always a member of the Grand Council of Guardians in New York City. So I know how her politics was. She know Charles Billups, who's the current chairman, and me and him are like family. So she wanted my support probably after she saw me hosting it. So let me get your support. And those were the support. Those were the conditions of my support. She was honest with one, but she lied with the other. Well, we know why she did what she did, because they made a deal. They made a deal for Richie to drop the lawsuit that he had against the Democrat Board of Election. So this man,
and then the deal. Wait, and then the deal. This is the problem. This is why I have a problem. So you let him take a plea, right? I think he might have had to pay back some money. Linez, here was the thing that was in his plea. So he could not run for any office within a year. There was no election the next year.
Right.
So how is that? How is that a punishment? Telling me I can't go. There was no election that he could run in the next year, but he had now saying you couldn't run for 4 years. That would have eliminated him running in the next mayor race. That would have been a deterrent. But saying that you couldn't run for a year, there was no election for him to run. There was no city council or no mayor race the next year. So, how is that a punishment? And
then wait a minute. Here's another thing. Then her plea bargain wasn't clear. It created chaos in the city of Mount Vernon that you had everybody saying that they were mayor.
What?
So she was supposed to step down, right? But he said he's not stepping down, and the council president was sworn in as mayor, Andre Wallace. So we had to play who's the mayor for like 4 months. So the police officers, it might have been 3 months. I might be exaggerating, but
it was about 3 or 2 months. They had to go back to court.
But listen to the climate, though. Your police don't know who to follow because they don't know who's their boss. They don't want to not listen to Richie just in case he wins. You understand what I'm saying? But then you don't want to not listen to Andre just in case he gets it off. So you don't even know who your boss is. Wait, and then it gets worse. After the court finally ruled that Andre was the mayor and that Richie had to stand down, Then the council turned on Andre and tried to make someone else the council president and remove Andre as mayor, and then they was trying to be mayor. So for like we had who's the mayor? Google, you can put who's the mayor of Mount Vernon, and that shit the article should come up. Seriously, we didn't know who.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Let me tell you, that was the most embarrassing thing to be a Black person,
and it was national news
at that time in Mount Vernon, and I resigned from my district leader position because I said if we cannot get it together as Black people in a Black party, and you got all this tomfoolery and niggardry, I don't want to be a part of it. I do not want to be a part of it. And I resigned from my position as a district leader. So you can't like I've never seen anything. Listen, you had Lisa Copeland and what's the other person that was city council riding around in the mayor's SUV. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, and then going on Facebook with it. Look, we're in the mayor's SUV. What are you doing? What are you doing? And I think we did a whole cover on it, right?
Yes,
AJ.
Yes.
I wish I could find that cover and post it so people could see. It was very embarrassing. And they got a nerve to say Black Westchester or what I write make Mount Vernon look bad. You're insane.
Well, they've been saying that for the longest. They've been saying that as long as we've been in existence. You know, and my problem with that was, so the people who are doing the dirt, who are doing the corruption, who are abusing their power, they're not making Mount Vernon look bad, but I'm making Mount Vernon look bad because I'm speaking about it, because I'm bringing attention to it. So the people who are doing the breaking the law and doing these things and are corrupt, they're not making Mount Vernon look bad, but I am.
Right.
How am I making Mount Vernon look bad? Like, and they be like, yo, well, you ain't got to put our business all out. You know what? The approach of burying your head in the sand and just writing happy-go-lucky news, we had that for years, and that didn't help the problem, did it? More people were informed when we started bringing things up. People didn't know this had been going on and had been going on for so long because the politicians depend on the city of Mount Vernon being uninformed and misinformed. I had this conversation with the then current mayor, Ernie Davis, in August 2014. I was like, you benefit from the residents being uninformed and downright misinformed. And we were told by Marcus Griffin, who told me if Richard Thomas won, he would move, and he never moved. He put his house up for sale. He never did. But anyway, he was like, there's only a certain amount of people who vote, and that's all they cater to. So you know how one of the ways Richie won? I went to a whole bunch of people between the 18 and 25 and asked them, did they like how their city was run? And they like how things blah, blah, blah. And they said, no. And I said, you want to hear a secret? The city don't give a fuck about you because you don't vote. I've heard elected officials, they're not going to do nothing for you because you don't vote. And I registered 205 people between 18 and 25. And some of them, some older people that were felons that didn't know that they could vote after they got off parole. And I registered in that. So we changed the election. We changed the voting pool. That's one of the reasons he won. Because they were only catering to the same people over and over and over. They wasn't paying attention to nobody else.
All right, we're gonna move on.
Yeah,
we 44 minutes in. I'm talking about this now because I'll get upset. Let's move on to something else.
So shout out to Andrew Wang, and he texted me 3 times. So, and I'm not going to get all into it. So there was a beatbox competition or some championship somewhere. It was held in Brooklyn, and the winner of it was from the 914, a guy from White Plains. So I don't know his name, but shout out to him. 914 representative.
Oh, that's dope. Congratulations. Congratulations.
That's dope. Definitely.
And White Plains is Damon's. That's Damon's background. That's his.
Yeah, man. Wonder who he is. Oh, White Plains is on the map. Beatboxing, man. That's what's up. Next, we're gonna talk about Zohran Mamdani's his transition team pick. You wrote an article about it, so you can start it off. We'll have conversation about it, but you did write. You did write a good article. So what's going on.
I'm just gonna grab some popcorn and moderate on this one. Go ahead.
Well, basically, it's he's starting to gather his executive team, and you're starting to see the people surround or people in play right now kind of turn a side eye, like, oh, he think he's gonna come in here and change the lens that we have, right? When people are really reacting to the fear of ideology becoming policy without community consent, he's shining a light on all the instabilities that are going on, because we don't know who gets to choose who gets protected and who gets to choose what ideas match the budget. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, but it's a lot because I peel back the layers, because a lot of people, I was hearing so many people talk about my song, right? How he has beef online, how he's not authentic, how all these things. He's on the commission, like he's on the committee. He's on the committee so he can shift the lens. He's on the committee to shift a lens. He went to jail, came home, doing some work. May not be the work that you want to do. May not be the work that you think he should be doing. But a lot of people talk and you point their fingers and you're not doing nothing.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I agree.
I think it's a interesting choice. I want to see the impact that it makes. Once I see the impact, then I can start making decisions. Then I can say, you know what? That beef did impact the way he moved. But he's still a different lens. He's still not a Band-Aid to the bullet wound. So he to me, right? If you in the circumstance, you see it. You see a problem. So when other individuals come in and try to curate the situation and you're not culturally competent, you end up not speaking a language to impact the people who really need it.
You need credible messengers in the room where it happens.
Absolutely. Credible, but people understanding what a credible messenger is, because that's just meaning you had a life experience and you were able to take your life experience and change it into something that's positive, right? Your scar moments and them star moments, the two things that you remember. If you able to take a scar moment and change it into a star, and you're able to show people, you know how many people you empower from your movements? You credible.
Our brother, former person on the show, a good friend of the Black Westchester, Dr. Bob, is an example of that. Mount Vernon, the crack era, he was out there doing his thing on the block. You know what I'm saying? Got shot, went to jail, came out, ended up going to school, getting his degree, and you know what I'm saying, and has been trying to do things on this side of things for a while. But he's definitely a good example of someone who took those experiences and he speaks to the kids. And when he speaks to the kids, I've been with him, it has great impact. Like when they hear his story, he's not just this professor from college, but they hear his story and they be like, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? It blows them away. And he gets their ears. They are paying attention to what he has to say. So I just want to throw that shout out to Dr. Bob.
Well, it's super important when you're able to, humanize a person's experience and, again, rent their lens, right? Where you're respecting their struggle, but also understanding and observing it and saying, oh, wow, damn, that's why you was doing that? Like, if I would have known, maybe I could have treated you different, did this, did that. But it's a perspective. You know, that's your greatest superpower, being able to share your lens in a language that's digestible to individuals.
Shout out to my sister Lane Cobb tuned in. She said big love to Dr. Bob. And shout
So
to
my
our sister Dawn. She shouted us out too. I'm sorry.
oh hey, what's up? What's up, Lane? What's up, Dawn? So my humble opinion is this: if I have yet to see an appointment by Zohran Mamdani. Now wait, my sign was pointed over what? What was over what? What was
Let
it?
me get the exact. Hold on. I believe it's for restorative justice, but let me get the exact title of the committee.
Pointed to the transition team's public safety and criminal justice committees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So all right. So I have yet to see anyone, and I'm putting who I am. I have yet to see anyone that he has to appoint yet. I have yet to see, not say he hasn't appointed. I have yet to see anyone that he appointed that is literally qualified to deal with policy. All right.
That's heavy.
Not Tamika.
Mm-hmm.
I know Tamika. Erica Ford, I love her to death. If she's doing outreach, that's her lane.
Mm-hmm.
And not my song. If he's doing outreach, that's his lane.
Mm-hmm.
That's his lane. When you're talking about public safety, you're talking about policies and you're talking about legislation that needs to be changed. Right? I have yet to see Mamdani put anybody that's serious about that on there yet. I was hoping that he would put like Corey Begis on there. Someone who has experience as a former commander of a police precinct on there, who was a former drug dealer, went from selling drugs to commanding the police department in his own neighborhood. Like someone like that. Because when we're talking, this is where we get a lot of things mixed up. When we're talking about changing how the criminal justice system works in our municipalities, we have to address policy. We have to address training. We have to address collective bargaining agreements between the PBAs and the municipality. Not just feelings and this is how I feel it should work, because you could feel it to work somewhere, but it ain't going to work through that collective bargaining. So that's my position. Let me
if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Do you think now I don't, instead of either or, do you think that it would benefit someone like Corey and my son both to be on it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
No, I just wanted to say,
but I said his lane. Right? We got to play our lanes in this, right? Now, I said I would love for him to have someone like Corey, someone like Charles Billups, someone brothers from 100 Blacks in law enforcement that are retired law enforcement officers who fought against police brutality and police corruption and understands the policies that's involved. That's part of the problem, is that even lawyers, they don't understand, number one, the culture, and number two, the policies, and number three, the collective bargaining. Now, AJ was with me. I went down to the Legal Defense Fund, had to teach lawyers about collective bargaining because they don't understand it. They don't understand it. So you could say everything you want, But if you're not if you're not addressing the collective bargaining, they say, well, how does an officer, he could take 24 hours to write a report? Because it's in the collective bargaining. It's not favoritism.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's part of their process. It's part of their due process. So then what you do is you end up running your mouth on something that you know nothing about. And I just like I told AJ, I'm like, yo, dude, like I was really upset in the Kamala Harris campaign, and you had what's the bald head lawyer? What's the dude's name that win all the lawsuits and don't go to trial?
Crump?
Benjamin Crump, right? You had Benjamin Crump talking about, Trump's gonna bring back stop and frisk. Stop and frisk never left.
It didn't.
No, because it's a Supreme Court ruling. The only reason why they won the lawsuit in New York City is because the way they used stop and frisk.
Mm-hmm.
They targeted a group of people. They targeted it. But it's legally called a Terry stop. But they made it stop and frisk. So when they said that stop and frisk was illegal because they got audio tapes and of supervisors telling them to target certain communities, which were Black. And then the numbers showed, that Black people were disproportionately affected by this method of the Terry stop. But it was part of a pattern and practice from New York City Police Department. So the judge ruled it unconstitutional. How the application was, the judge never said stop and frisk was unconstitutional. So you got lawyers and you got radio hosts and you got all these people telling people lies, untruths. Also with qualified immunity. That's another Supreme Court ruling. Trump is going to give all the police officers qualified immunity. They've been had it.
Mm-hmm.
Trump ain't got nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm. They had it all their life.
Exactly. But these protest profiteers, like my son and some of the other ones, run around and tell Black people false information to get their feelings up. Never heard Mason say that. Let me be clear, but he's part of that crew. He's part of that protest profiteers crew that come out when they get paid. Or they get a check. So I'm just making it clear. We have to put Black people in place. And we have to put people in place that have a history of fighting for our people no matter what. And now Mamdani, I know Mamdani is in certain circles in New York City where certain people he can touch and he can bring them on. I know that. I just wish the new people of New York City luck. Mm-hmm. Because yes, the criminal justice system needs to be reformed. Absolutely. Letting all them people out of jail, what he was saying on the campaign trail, ain't going to help Black neighborhoods. Straight music. If they're putting programs together, I am 100% with that. And I hope a lot of those programs, they have Black men part of those programs that could lead these young Black kids and direct these young Black, especially the Black boys, direct these young black boys to a proper way of living.
Mm-hmm.
I am all for that. I am all for that. But
don't,
you
don't
also,
Joshua, don't get him started. Don't.
No,
That question has been asked and answered several times.
Exactly. I'm not running for anything, bro, because because first of all, let me tell you something. Black people don't support black people. And if you're going to run and be independent, you need money from black people, right? These politicians are bought and sold. On the local level, they're bought by the construction companies and the developers. And we get ready to talk about that in Mount Vernon. That's why Mount Vernon is in the situation that they're in, because the culture of politics is nothing but these people behind the scene buying our politicians. And that's on a local, state, federal level. Forget it, because you got APAC, you got the healthcare gangsters that's giving all this money. That's why our healthcare system is in the situation that it is, and nobody wants to really change it because they all getting money from these healthcare corporations.
And all these lobbyists,
Right. And all these lobbyists, and we're sending $8 billion a year over to Israel, and Mount Vernon ain't got clean sewers. Right? The place out there in Flint still ain't got clean water. Think about that. But we could send $8 billion a year to Israel. And guess what? They got free health care for all their citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to college for free. All their citizens. And we are over here fighting on health care and college costs. And we're giving them $8 billion a year. Something's wrong with this picture. And then if you talk about it, you get shadow banned on YouTube. You get shadow banned on Facebook. You get shadow banned on, I know our channel shadow banned, because we went from doing 10,000 views on a show to 300.
Mm-hmm.
Because we talk about the money that's going over to Israel. And they don't want us to talk about that. They want our communities to continue to be starving. Yeah, Jackson, Mississippi. I was just in Flint. Their water crisis is as clean as it's going to be. Right. It ain't going to get no cleaner, unfortunately, but and I'm sorry to say that. But I'm not running because you gotta play the game. I can't do it. No.
So we got a guest coming in, but before we do, I just want to say one thing though. So the answer about running, as the publisher of Black Westchester and as the editor-in-chief of Black Westchester, we actually have more influence than we would of being an elected official of one particular municipality. We help change the political landscape throughout the whole county and surrounding areas. And one more thing I wanted to, David for president. That's what Lane wrote.
Lane, don't do that. Lane, don't do that. You're going to have them try to take me out like Charlie Kirk.
And one other thing I wanted to say that Damon didn't mention. So 2 reports, the United Nations Association did 2 reports. One of them was on race, criminal justice, and human rights, a joint stakeholder summary report. And Damon was one of the co-authors of that report. And I forgot what the first report was called. It had to do with criminal justice. And that was sent all the way to
one had to do total with criminal justice.
Right.
And like people don't know the things I've done. I've done 2 reports for the United Nations that went to the Geneva Convention. Little old me, no college degree. Right? Little black man. You know what I'm saying? No college degree. But one was for corrections, human rights on corrections, and the other one was on policing as a whole. But I want to say one thing: I will never run because what they did to what Janet DeFiore and the Democratic Party did to my family and putting me through when I was trying to run for city council, I will never put my family through that again. I will never do that. So I will stand 10 toes down on my own. And I just realized they don't want me. They don't want me in politics because I'm going to do right.
You're definitely going to shake the game, shake things up.
Never going to shake the game up.
And
right?
break up the status quo. And
yep.
Exactly. But I'm good. I'm good right here, man. I'm good. God got me. Listen, my pastor told me my ministry is to take down strongholds. It wasn't to be a politician. And God, and trust me, I'm 10 toes down on trying to do that until the day I die. And this is where I'm at.
So with that said, we want to get into our next guest, and Damon, introduce our guest. He's been waiting in the green room.
I'm gonna we're gonna bring him in right now. Oh, wait a minute, something's going on. Why are you like that?
I don't know, because you got it like that. Because you got it like that. No.
Hold on a second. So everybody got to come out. One, two. Why are you over there? Hold on a second. All right, I got it. We're gonna switch. Hold on a second, man. I gotta switch everybody around. You supposed to be over here. You supposed to be there. And then I gotta switch AJ over here.
Well, he needs to be where I'm at.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing right now.
Maybe you should give it a try. I don't think that you know how much.
He's trying to talk me into running for office. Who's that person?
Joshua.
Oh man, Joshua, stop it, bro. Stop it. I love you, man.
I do want to say, while you're doing that, it's a shame because there are a lot of good people, Lanez, that would really be great in particular positions in different municipalities as elected officials. Mm-hmm. But because of the political climate, what Damon said, I've heard from several people, I got young kids. I don't want to put my husband through that. You know what I'm saying? Because the political climate is so nasty right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to think, is it even worth it to do that? And so you got good people who won't run, who would really do a great job, because that part of getting, the whole running part of getting there is so ugly. And you know what I'm saying? That's a lot on your family.
Yeah. We're gonna welcome, man, Steven Vazquez, Mount Vernon resident, holding it down. And listen, welcome to the show. It's your first time on the show.
Thank you. Yes. And
you're getting a lesson from me and AJ, what's going on in Mount Vernon. They tried to put me in jail. They did a lot to me, but I'm still here, right? So you're here tonight because there's going to be a rally on Tuesday.
That's right.
And tell us why the people of Mount Vernon is deciding to rally on Tuesday.
I think it's just been, especially over the last 5 years, we've just really witnessed how much the fact that we have similar headcounts as other cities that are a little more successful than we are, but we have a smaller tax base, how that kind of tells a story of just what we know to be true of just cronyism and, politicized services and just residents not getting what they're paying for just year over year. We're just seeing, increased taxes with no real meaningful plan for how are we going to get through to next year, and how are we going to be more mindful about how we spend money, and how are we going to make the most of what we have, and we're just looking for responsibility. And it feels like when we go to these meetings and these hearings and we talk about the issues that we're struggling with, and how we feel about like the budget and what it reflects, like how like it's just totally fine that they're just continuing to increase taxes, you know, with again like without meaningful plans on how we're going to really like establish a capital fund for, you know, getting us through to the end of the year without having to take out like basically a payday loan, you know, just to get us through until we start collecting property taxes next year, you know. And it's after a while like of just showing up at meetings and speaking out and like not directly being laughed at, but you know, basically that's what City Hall is doing every time, you know, we go out, we show out and we express our concerns, and then these things like the comprehensive plan passes, you know, with like minimal, not really meaningful changes of all the issues that addresses all the issues that we're bringing up. And it's just like, how else are we going to make our voices heard if we don't start making some noise, you know, and actually showing up to these meetings and just being a little louder? Because clearly just expressing our concerns is not enough. You know, we need to start showing up and really, you know, it's not about attacking city leadership because like they're human beings at the end of the day. We just want a more responsible spending plan. We want City Hall to just respect our money, you know. And it's like, why is that so hard, and why is that such a point of contention? So yeah, people are really fed up, and we have definitely seen a lot of residents taking a lot of interest in just organizing and starting to just speak our voices more, because again, like we love to compare ourselves to other cities, but like we're just not doing as well. And you know, I think that bringing that up, it's an opportunity for positive change. You know, we're calling on leadership to rise to the occasion and really just start being more responsible with our money. And we don't feel like that's, you know, a bad thing. And we hope that they start to listen more, because you know, things are only going to get worse if they don't.
I want to applaud you. One of the things we always try to encourage our residents and our listeners is you have to get involved. Politics is not a spectator sport, it's a participatory sport. The reason why a lot of things in certain neighborhoods are not working, the people are not sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they're not showing up at these meetings, and they're not having rallies, and they're not doing everything they need to do to get the attention of the elected officials. Like, this is what we want. And I also want to say, and you don't have to apologize when that, it is your right. You are a voter, one. They can't get in office without you. Secondly, you are a taxpayer. Your taxes pay their salaries and their benefits. So you should have the right to speak about how your tax dollars are spent. My sister lives in Northern Virginia, right outside of D.C., and she always talks about the county is one of the highest tax. They pay some of the highest taxes. But you know what I hear every time we go out? She always says, that's my tax dollars at work. She can actually see her tax dollars at work. So she does not mind paying the extra high taxes, because every day she leaves her house, she sees her tax dollars at work. The problem in Mount Vernon is, I think a lot of people who have complained to Black Westchester and to us, they do not see their tax dollars at work. They do not know where their tax dollars is going. They don't understand. Now, we always say, you know, one person in office can't undo 10, 20 years of dysfunction and corruption by themselves. You know what I'm saying? But it is your job to hold your elected officials' feet to the fire. And too often we don't do that in our communities. And those other communities you mentioned, they do that. And that's why their communities look the way they do.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And, you know, to your point about, you know, it's our duty to show up and show out. It's funny because, like, on the other side of that, it's like, I don't even want to do that. I don't want to have to do that, right? Because, like, in an ideal government, like, it just works. I don't have to think about it. You know, we get our services. We're paying for, you know, we're paying a lot, you know, for just, you know, the day-to-day operations of the city, you know, clean up our trash, issue our permits, make zoning changes that benefit the community and that provide opportunities for like economic benefit to the city, et cetera. So like in an ideal world, like I would be paying attention, but I wouldn't have to be so involved. But that's just, the state of where we are. And yeah, like to your point, totally, we have to do this because there's no other way. And like I served on the Charter Review Commission's advisory board this past iteration, and it really just showed me how, kind of like what you guys were talking about earlier, about how ugly like the politics can be. We had so much outside pressure on commission members to basically like not vote to put certain changes on the ballot. Like we were seeking to just professionalize operations, and the whole point of the Charter Review Commission was to like analyze data, conduct interviews, understand like how City Hall is operating, and like what we can do to potentially get to a place of just smoother operations and just increased opportunities for civic engagement, et cetera. And I really saw how the political.
Was that the committee where the secretary, they asked her for the minutes, and she's like, "Ain't nobody told me I had to take minutes. If I got to take minutes, I'm leaving." Like, yo, that's what a secretary is.
That's what she said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I lying? I watched the meeting. Am I lying?
Yeah. A lot of those later meetings were so rowdy and just so it turned into a show. And that was, I think, was the saddest part for me, just witnessing, because I've only been in Mount Vernon for 3.5 years now, and I joined that advisory board because I just thought that things were just funny. Like I wasn't really understanding how things were working, and they weren't working for me. And I just wanted to be more involved. And it just turned into a show, and it just showed me that like the influence that City Hall has on things that are supposed to be nonpartisan and just like independent. Like that's not how it actually works. And a lot of people, I mean, like we had city leaders at the final vote, to basically vote to put these things onto the ballot. And city leadership was kind of like leading this rally against all of these proposed changes. And why? Because these changes take power away from, whoever the future mayor would be. Right. And like hire a city manager, professionalize operations, et cetera. And, they don't want that for whatever reason. But I think the worst part is just like, you're not supposed to be involved at that level at all. And really like, what are you doing? Like you're getting all these people together to just like basically say, I don't want the voters to have this choice. Because that's all we were doing, was just bringing this stuff to the voters and saying like, do you want this? And then we want to educate you on what this means, and what the potential benefits of these ballot initiatives are. And it was all dead in the water.
Man, we were Steve, we were talking when we first started talking. You was telling me, and I asked you like, why didn't the districts, right, breaking the city council into districts, and you said that like that was damn near dead on arrival.
Right. So that was voted down. The other two that were approved to just pass through to the legal analysis were the city manager and the appointed finance controller. I really felt that the ward system, which would basically like, it would assign a committee to divide the city into wards. You would have, you could either do like a hybrid system where you have a few wards that represent each district, and then you have like an at-large, everybody votes on this last member of City Hall. Usually it's the mayor. And I thought that would have been the most impactful, because you have a representative from each district, right? Especially this hybrid model, you have a representative from each district to focus on your local issues. And then you have an at-large member of city council to kind of just like help bring it all together and bring a perspective of like at the city management level, like the overall big picture, like what are our high ticket items that the city needs. And yeah, that was voted down, uh, before we even went to that final vote, to the final report.
Right.
So we weren't able to even like create the ballot language or anything for that. But
So what was the
yeah.
pushback?
So the reasons that were given, it was a lot of just like, some of the people on the commission were saying, oh, we don't have time to do this. And it wasn't really clear like what that meant because, like we had the attorneys on retainer, we had the plan, we did the interviews. We engaged with the public, though, like the response wasn't great. And that was another point of like, kind of like attack from people who didn't want to move through with any of it because they were saying like, a lot of people from Fleetwood responded, the majority of people. And so they were just kind of saying like, oh, well, we're only basing it on these changes and that's skewed. And it just, to me, it just felt like they were just finding any reason not to move forward with anything substantial,
Wow.
and yeah, it's, I still think about just the way that it just turned into something. It just felt like I was back in high school, like in some kind of, I don't know, just it felt really it felt kind of dark, honestly. And it was just like it wasn't, I joined that commission advisory board just to contribute, and try to make things better. And there wasn't an energy being brought by a lot of people of just like, yeah, if you don't like this idea, what's wrong with it? Well, then what's the happy medium, of like, oh, we don't like city manager. What's wrong with it? And how do we like make it so that we're actually moving something forward, that's substantial and that's actually going to help the city. And again, it was just, to me, it just felt like a game. And it was just like, it almost was just like, why do we even do this? Why even bother having the commission? Like, just don't do anything. Because now we're wasting more taxpayer money.
Oh, sorry. The thing about the districts was, it's funny, you said we compare ourselves to other neighborhoods. New Rochelle has that. Yonkers have that. Both cities that are financially thriving a lot more than we are and have a lot more things going on. But historically, there have been several times where at least 3 of the council members live in what would be the same district now. Like if they wouldn't all be able to be council members because they all would live, they would have to run for that one district. You know what I'm saying? And that's been the case for a long time. There's not a lot of representation. I used to live on 7th Avenue between 4th and 5th. There ain't nobody representing, nobody that lives in that area, like representing that district. Most of the people were, on the Fleetwood side of things. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you don't have representation everywhere. So I don't know that that's a bad thing, and because
No, it's not a bad thing.
Have to answer to the people in that district. You have to address the concerns of the people in that district. And if you don't, then they find somebody else who will represent them in that district. So, I mean, there's been pushback on that for years, way before you get involved on that.
I'm sure.
But there have been, what's the sad thing about it, and I hope people of Mount Vernon are watching. When you have districts, the South Side benefits. You really benefit more than the North Side, right? Because you'll probably have more district leaders that will be from the South Side than will be the North Side. And as AJ said, if we would have districts, we would have districts awards. The only person that would be left on the city council would be Cynthia Turncrest Jones in January, because she's the only one on the South Side. So if we understand, I'm talking to the people, man, like y'all really, the South Side has to get in the game. They really have to get in the game of understanding how their city works, and is literally working against the people in the South Side. And I don't understand with the pastors. Now, you had a charter commission that was trying to put something that will balance the city council out, and y'all not even involved. Y'all not even talking about it. Like I really don't understand. Like, and I'm talking to all the pastors, right? And I love all y'all, but this and you can't tell me you didn't know about it. Like I'm tired of talking to some pastors that act like they don't know what's going on when you do know what's going on. But you benefit from some of the ignorance too. Now, I hope that the people in Mount Vernon can get the signatures together and force them to pull it on the ballot sooner or later. If you want accountability, you have to move it to districts. And AJ will tell you, and we know, and Ernie always said, as long as he has 3, he can do whatever he wants in the city.
And he used to say that at press conferences and public.
Exactly.
He was like, I got my 3, and as long as I got my 3, I don't care what the other 2 do. I can, I have the 3 that will work. He put it that will work with me to move the city forward. Like he would put it that way. But he had 3. He could do whatever he wanted because
now the mayor can still get 3, but it's going to be harder to get the 3 because now it's going to be more competition for those to run the districts that are not the usual okie doke people that they want to put in, and you have you just have the BS, right? There's another word that can't come to mind, but I'm just going to call it BS. Cronyism. There you go. Cronyism. But I mean, they shot it down. They shot it down in the beginning because y'all went right to the jugular, and that's the city council. And if we didn't learn this last election, when you have a PAC that spent all this money to make sure certain people were elected, the city council is what moves everything.
And that same PAC was also rallying against us, and they were basically implying that we were being very secretive, about what we were doing. Meanwhile, like every meeting is live streamed. We were basically grassroots. Like we had budget, but like it was only for, consulting with the National Civic League, which is an organization that works with municipalities across the United States doing things like this. And we were budgeted for attorneys. We didn't have a marketing budget. We didn't have, social media, anything. Like I was running the social media for free. And we did as much as we could to like engage, but we, didn't have a lot of communication support or anything. So it's funny the way that like people on the commission were saying like, we're not doing enough, but it's like they also were not doing much to help, with the messaging, with the marketing, with anything. And again, it just all goes back to like the corruption. Like these people clearly have something to gain, by just hijacking this process that's supposed to be about democracy. It's supposed to be about what the people want. Let them have the vote, let them have the choice to choose something different. But they just did not. They did not want us to really be fully transparent, with the public. They didn't trust the public to learn and make the right decision for itself.
It wasn't even don't trust the public. It was against what they wanted to do. But we've seen too often over the past decade or so, especially with social media becoming bigger and bigger, those with money control a narrative, not necessarily inform the people, not necessarily put the truth out, but put out a narrative and repeat it over and over and over and beat you in the head with email blasts and phone robocalls and mail in your mailbox and hitting you at the supermarket and just everything, just getting this and staying on script. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like it's hard to combat that with no money, with no budget. You understand what I'm saying? And you're just regular people. You know, a lot of times Black Westchester in the beginning, we kind of was somewhat of an equalizer because we ended up getting out stories like your story you might not have been on in other platforms to tell your stories. You understand what I'm saying? And we were able to put those people that normally couldn't reach people, you know, give them a platform and you know, bring more attention to what they're doing. So I still, again, you know, I'm not even saying what you were talking about is good or bad or whatever, but I think residents should fight for whatever is in their interest. They should fight for what they want. The taxpayers have a say, and you know, it shouldn't be controlled. You know, that you said democracy, so there's that image of democracy where like it's the one person on that, you know, that on a boat and the thing that they put you over, you know, that long thing you stand on, and everybody else is on the other side. And there's like a million people, and there's one person. All they do is jump, and that person is over, you know, overboard. You know what I mean? Like we don't understand we the people. We don't understand what we do not in our communities. We do not understand the power of we the people and what that means.
Yeah. Hopefully.
What do you want people?
Sorry,
so what do you want people? You know, first off, is Tuesday the council meeting? Is that the vote? Is that when they're going to vote for the budget? Is that?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody needs to know that, and the council meeting is 6 to 8, right? Something like that.
That's right.
Y'all are rallying outside. What time beforehand?
Yes, at 6 o'clock, a little bit before. We're just going to, because it's going to be cold. You know, we're going to just be gathering and just having discussion, and then you know we're going to go inside and just speak up about, you know, what's going on, and we just want people to come and share their experiences, you know, and kind of just like plead with our city leadership to just.
Oh, he froze.
Okay, I didn't know if I froze. That's what I was wondering if I.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is it mine?
Because every now and then I freeze, and then yo, I see on my TV y'all still talking, so it's
everybody thinking the same thing.
I don't remember if the city council. I don't know if the rules have changed. Wait, I just want to say I don't know if the rules have changed any, but I believe that you can to speak. You have to call, and you have to call by a certain time that day. Do you know, like, to speak? What is that process again? You have to call to speak at the city council meeting. You got to call.
I don't think so. The last 2 times I've been, you just got up to speak because it's a hearing for the budget. So
it's a hearing. It's not a council meeting. It's a hearing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I have to check. But they are. I believe that this is the vote to approve it. So it might be a city council meeting. But at the very least, we're going to show up and just show that we're very much against this, and that we want, you know, City Hall to be more responsible with our money, and, you know, to stop pushing all these things through without really like just thinking about us, the people. Like we're struggling, man. Like I bought a multifamily property here in Mount Vernon. You know, I bought it from somebody who really did not take care of his tenants, you know, and I've been trying to just do the best that I can. And like, I'm working multiple jobs just to get my mortgage paid. Wow. You know, the rent doesn't even cover my full mortgage. Like, you know, and these are all my choices, right? Like, I'm not asking for any handouts or anything. I'm just asking for good services and for, you know, like for support, you know, as a landlord, so that I don't have to keep on jacking rent on my tenants, because, you know, like I can't afford to absorb all of these costs, you know. So obviously, like, I have to do an analysis and figure out how much to pass along to my tenants. And like, these are all just things like this is something that is driving gentrification, you know, and like these choices that they're making have serious implications, and they have serious effects on everybody in this community. So I really do hope that, you know, if anybody is watching right now, that they do show up and meet up with us, because we, you know, we're not looking to like fight or anything like that. This does not need to be anything crazy, but it's no longer okay to just stand idly by while like the irresponsibility is happening, you know, at City Hall. And I do hope that people get involved somehow, because like you said, the more of we the people that there is, the harder it is to ignore. And yeah, we're fed up.
Right.
Anybody who wants to speak, just in case it is a council meeting and not a hearing, call tomorrow or Tuesday during the day and call the city clerk, and they'll let you know if you need to sign up to speak. And that's the process of signing up. You call them, you give them your name, and you tell them you want to speak. They might ask you what topic you want to speak on. But I would tell everybody to call anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Get on because what they usually do is they have a hearing before the council meeting. So the hearing part, you might be able to, the pros and the cons, and get up and speak, and then they have the council meeting, and those who sign up can also speak at the council meeting. You know what I'm saying? So that's usually the way it is. I haven't been in City Hall in the new administration and the new clerks and all that. So if things didn't change, that's the way it is. Call the clerk's office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe that's still how it works.
I just want to just make, for people that's listening to something that you said. So the Rise Up Mount Vernon Political Action Committee, they campaigned against, right? They campaigned against y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same political action committee that has given money to 2 of the city council people, not only supported, but currently that's on the board, giving money to 2 of the city of the city council people that's sitting on the board now. So
exactly.
And this is what I really need people of Mount Vernon to understand what's going on. So the same people that not you, Steve, but you voted for Mount Vernon, is backed by an organization that fought against a charter revision that wanted to give the South Side more representation or more accountability of their representation. Listen to what he said and listen to what happened. Like, they're taking your representation away. And they fought for the South Side. See, a lot of times they always want to separate, and this is the trick. You want to separate the North from the South Side. The North Side, just white folks. Don't listen to the white people that's up there. I know, because I heard it, right? But here they are. They have a charter revision to try to give the South Side more representation from their city council. And this political action committee, Rise Up Mount Vernon, who are backed by developers, people that don't live in Mount Vernon. We did the whole story. And Rella and whoever, if y'all feel that I'm lying, come take me to court. I'll be willing. See, you might as well say I'm the Black Candace Owens. Come take me to court.
That's
I want to go
Black Candace Owens. Like, she's not black. That's
right.
Well, I'm a little blacker.
Yeah.
Right?
No. I know what you're saying. It's still funny.
Where you go? Hold on. I done hit the wrong button. I'm sorry, brother. I done hit the wrong button. No disrespect to Candace Owens. I love what she's doing to MAGA right now. I love it. But we got to understand what just happened right under everybody's noses. And the people of Mount Vernon, and I'm going to chop this up, make sure people listen to this whole segment, because we just got to understand that same Rise Up Mount Vernon fought against the city charter commission to give the South Side more representation. And this is a political action committee that takes money from people that don't even live in Mount Vernon. So they're making decisions for the people of Mount Vernon, and they don't even live in Mount Vernon. But they benefit from having these certain people in office. Y'all better wake up and smell the coffee.
And I want to put it in perspective. And see this is the way democracy works. You don't have to agree with what they want, what they're suggesting. You don't even have to think that's a good thing to do. But just like in Yonkers, when they were doing the extending the term limits, the biggest argument wasn't that they wanted to extend the term limits. The biggest argument was they were doing it without giving the people the vote. And that was the biggest fight. Let the people vote. Let the people have their say. You're just doing. Let the people. And I'm just saying that was recently a couple of years ago in Yonkers. I'm seeing a lot of that where the fight is let the people vote. And I'm not saying what's being proposed is good or bad. That's for you individually as a voter to determine. But someone was bringing a different perspective, and there was a group of people that didn't want it to get to the ballot to let the people vote. And that's where the problem starts. You know, that's part of the problem when the people don't get to vote on these situations. And it's not, and I brought up Yonkers just to show this not just a Mount Vernon thing. Like, you know, people in power would rather you not be able to vote on certain things, you know, to have a chance to vote on it, and they put certain things through. You know, a lot of people were upset. A lot of our listeners were upset when there was the raise that was 35 to 40% raise in a year where no corporation, all civil service, you know, civil service, as you lucky, you getting 2. You lucky if you get 5%. You get 5%, you in the money, like you 5%. That was like almost, but it was done without allowing the people to vote.
Oh, wow.
See, those are the things that they voted on it. And I'm not saying that they deserve it or don't deserve it. I'm not even making that argument. Right. My point is a lot of these things are put through, and a lot of the frustration is not letting the people vote. And Sister Reverend Margaret Coleman, who used to be the vice president, I believe, of the Yonkers NAACP, she said, "Indeed, you're saying it right. Good evening, everyone. The same with Yonkers. We're seeing a lot more of this going on, where the vote is being taken out of the people's hands, the power. That's as long as if they don't get it to a ballot or give you an opportunity to vote, then you never have a say. Now, maybe the people would have overwhelmingly voted this down, but we don't know that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they might
have. Maybe they would have overwhelmingly voted for it, but
right.
We don't know that, though, because the people never got. So we don't know what the people really want. Do they want a change to the system? Are they happy with the way the system is? It never got a chance to get to a ballot so the people could vote. And I think that is a part I just want everybody to pay attention to. You know, this is going on everywhere. I'm seeing this everywhere. But like I said, Yonkers, this happened in Yonkers. Oh, I'm sorry, she was the education chair of the.
She the education chair currently.
Oh, okay. Well, her and her husband were president and vice president or something last year. So, you know, into the show. But yeah, so we have to fight for our right to vote for these things, and we need to make noise, and we need not to let anybody else with outside interests overtalk us and outspend us and get there and change the narrative. Because once you say something, we found out in the city, all you got to do is say it over and over and over and over, and the people will believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
Andre Wallace just ran for city council, and someone asked me this year, ain't that the guy that didn't pay prevailing wages? And he went through all kinds of things and got proved that none of that was true. But then someone still asked because they
Republican.
Yeah, they said it so many times. Somebody still said, ain't that the guy that didn't pay the? And I asked them what that meant, and they couldn't tell me what that word meant, but they know that he was accused of it. So if you say it over and over and over, people believe it, and people are tuned out. Life is lifing. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have time to pay attention, and they count on you being uninformed and misinformed. I want the residents to hear that. If you don't hear nothing else, there are people in power, not everyone, but there are people in power and the people behind them in power that depend on you being uninformed and outright misinformed.
Absolutely.
And it's your job to be informed. And one of the ways you can do that is joining this brother on Tuesday and meeting up outside and going inside and letting your voice be heard and finding out what's going on, not for what you read on Facebook, not because of what someone's telling you, but hearing it from the people who make the decision in the room, hearing it for themselves and being able to give your point of view. So I congratulate you. I will try to be there. I'm trying to be there. I wrote an article about Mount Vernon's on the brink, talking about the whole tax thing, and I put that at the end for people to go, and I added the flyer to it. So we need to fill these rooms. That's the bottom line. We need to stop complaining that our school's not working and go to school board meetings. We need to stop complaining that the county's not working and not go to county legislative meetings. We need to stop complaining the city's not running right and not going to city council meeting or board of estimate meetings and all these other meetings. And a lot of them, like you said, are public. You can watch them because I didn't come to none of y'all meetings for the charter, but I seen I was able to comment. And I seen those things from my living room, from my house, from my bedroom, on my computer. So you don't even have to be there. They make it so easy where you can just watch it from your home. You know, if you can't get out, if you got the kids and you got nobody to watch the kids and all those things, you can watch it at home.
Yep.
And you don't have to watch it live. You can even watch it later because a lot of times I never catch it live. I catch it later. So
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, so Steve, man, I commend you.
Any last words that you want anybody to know before you say that, Dave? Anything you want people to know about what you're doing and everything like that?
And how can they reach you also?
Right.
So my Facebook should be connected to this live stream, I believe. We don't have anything formal just yet. They can definitely reach me through Facebook. I'm Steven Vazquez. And yeah, we are definitely going to be coming out with a lot more opportunities to be engaged, and we're going to start putting out more campaigns. You know, we're doing a lot of writing right now. Just right now, we're just focused on the budget. And if there's anything that I just want to that I could really express is just like the massive amount of taxes that have been increased without any real like budgeting that is concrete and based on true like finances and like, you know, without any padded, estimations for revenue that are just never going to materialize. And like, this is just kind of like becoming a snowball, right? That is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, we're allegedly like $1 billion in debt and we're still taking out payday loans just to like make it through the next year. So, and like your engagement is just so important. So, you know, when you meet with us, you know, we will definitely be connecting with you and giving you more opportunities to be in touch with us and just get involved. So I hope that I see a lot of people there, and I'm really looking forward to this new era of Mount Vernon.
Okay, David, you were going to say something.
Yeah. No, I want to commend you, brother, man. We talked on the phone, man, and I want to commend you for the work that you're doing. And you know, I just want to say, man, you've been living in Mount Vernon for 3 years, and you get it. I know people that are born and raised in the city, and they're almost 60 goddamn years old, and still don't. And some of them might be in their 70s and still don't get it. So hats off to you, brother, for doing what you have to do and looking out for the actual people. You're looking out for people that you rent your apartments to because you don't want to go up on their rent. You don't want to pass these tax hikes off to the people that these so-called politicians and leaders and pastors say they represent, man. So hats off to you, man. And whatever you do here in Black Westchester, whatever I could do personally to help you, man, you got my number, man. And let's make it work. All right.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And we put this out to everybody, and I wish more people would take advantage of it. You know, we have the op-ed section and the letters to the editor section on the website and in the newspaper.
Where are you?
I mean, that's another way to get the word out. David, are you muted? Are you talking? You might have to get yourself.
All right. So, all right. You gotta give me, because now I gotta clean the cars off. You ain't even tell me. Like, I wish you would talk.
Live.
We offer that to everybody to let your voice be heard. That's kind of what Black Westchester is about.
I love it.
And we'll give, and if someone has an opposing view, and we'll give them a chance to write something as well. But that's one way to get the word out. That's another way for you to get the word out, to the people.
And I just want to say thank you for having the courage to organize and spread the noise and spread the message and inform people, because a lot of people don't really think that they have impact or they can impact or even know the process. And sometimes they're not scared to ask, but don't want to feel like they're dumb. So if you just come with the information and you're able to spread it again where it's digestible, thank you. Thank you for that courage. That takes a lot.
Thank you so much.
Especially in this retaliatory, toxic political climate we're in. So
it can be scary. Yeah. I mean,
it's insane. Mount Vernon is a circus. Mount Vernon is a circus when it comes to politics.
Right.
Complete circus. But we need more people like you. We need more people. We just need more people to get involved and be active.
Right.
And I pray that the South Side, and I pray that some of these so-called leaders and pastors really get their people involved outside of the games that is actually playing, because those are the people that are affected, the people that make $30, $40, $50, $60,000 that have to deal with the crime and violence, they have to deal with the lack of service, they have to deal with the potholes in the street, and you got to repair, you got to align your whole goddamn car driving through Mount Vernon with the potholes. It is what it is, but if we don't say something, they just continue to go about it another day. Mount Vernon always had to be potential, and I say it, and I've been saying it. Is the Wakanda of Westchester. It is the Wakanda of Westchester, but our leaders always selling off the vibranium.
Giving it away. They're not even selling it. We'd be in a better financial situation if they sold it.
I try to make it so simple so people can understand, right? Because the vibranium was what made Wakanda what it is, right? But our politicians in Mount Vernon, they either give it away or they sell it for cheap or they give it to the highest bidder from people that's outside of the city, and it's just sad, man. It's really sad. And I don't know, maybe people are just like, I try to equate also to, like, I hate to say it, like a domestic violence victim. When you've just been beat for so long, you just don't know you beat no more. It's just normal to live like that.
It's a baseline. It's a baseline. Absolutely.
Exactly. I used to say the same thing about people in Yonkers, because they used to come to jail and be like, man, you always get beat up by the police. I said, that's not normal.
Yeah.
That's not normal. But because it was going on for so long, thank God thank you for Karen Edmondson and doing the work that she did back in the day. But it was normal to get beat up by the police in Yonkers. That was you. If you messed with the police, you got beat up. That was the lifestyle, right? Mm-hmm. So Mount Vernon is just a lifestyle of dysfunction.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not beating up on nobody, but we just gotta recognize it. I'm not from Mount Vernon, so when I come to Mount Vernon, move to Mount Vernon with certain things I'm used to of a functioning government, like fixing my park. You get the park fixed, get the backboard, get the rim fixed. Why should I have to march for that?
Right.
I thought marching was for civil rights, not government, not fixing your park.
Yeah.
So these things we just, man, listen, God bless you. Whatever we can do, whatever, because I could go on a rant, and I don't want to, man. and I don't want to do it. But thank you, brother, and hopefully, if the weather's bad, y'all ain't gonna see me. I'm not coming down. But if the weather's good, I might pop up. You know, I might pop up.
Well,
all right, but
Damon,
thank
you can get my number. You can get my number from Damon and touch base with me Tuesday. I'm here in Mount Vernon, so touch base with me. I'm trying to be there. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you, man.
Bye.
All right.
We coming to the close of another show, another episode.
Oh, man, we only got 5 minutes. I'm going to talk about one thing real quick before we go. Real quick. Because I think people have the viewers, I just want to make this clear, and I'll probably do this week a full video on it to explain it in more detail. Okay. Oh man, we didn't even get to talk about Jasmine Crockett. Man, I wanted to talk about some Jasmine Crockett.
You can talk. We do that. Publisher's desk then.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to now.
We ain't doing no extended time today because
listen. I'm gonna have to, but I want to talk about, which is important, the recent Supreme Court ruling over redistricting. So they ruled in favor. A lot of people were making noise about the Texas state government redistricting their districts. So it was a pushback saying that it was racist.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The Supreme Court ruled in favor of the redistricting. They ruled on partisanship, not race. So what does that mean? It means it is not the Supreme Court or any government's fault that one group of race is only in one party. 90% of Black people are in the Democratic Party.
Mm.
The Supreme Court ruled on partisanship. The party that's in power can redistrict. So they threw out the basis of race. They threw out the basis of race. Now, look, Democrat states can gerrymander, right? They could redistrict in favor of Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Republican states will redistrict in favor of Republicans. But the race effect has been thrown out in the ruling. So now what it does, it exposes dependency on one political pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
So Black people are going to have to come to terms with that going down the line.
Well, this ruling isn't a neutral ruling, right? It's strategic. It kind of forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth. If our votes are guaranteed, why would anyone compete for us? You know, representation without leverage is symbolism.
Oh. You're absolutely right. But then we have to have what leverage do we have?
Right. It's like, oh, we know what the outcome is going to be and we're fine with it. That's what they're saying, basically. We know what the outcome is and we're clear. We're good. Y'all don't got to vote. We already know what it is.
I mean, what?
I was saying that. Nope, she didn't.
Oh.
That's the final. That's the final word right there. She put it on. She bars.
All right.
What they say? What the young boys say? Bars.
Well, you know what? I just want to say, thank you for being here. Thank you for thinking with us, and thank you for holding space for these conversations. Because change starts with awareness, but it lives in a community.
Bars.
There you go. That's it. Everybody have a good night. Be safe. Take care. And have a blacktastic week. Peace out. We out of here.
Stay warm.
If you've been thinking about investing but didn't know where to start, this is your sign. Presented by Black Westchester Magazine and Noir Network, the Ownership Society is a community of like-minded people focused on building generational wealth 1 month at a time. No hype, no gambling, just disciplined investing, shared learning, and real ownership. Whether you start with $20 or $100, the key is consistency. Scan the QR code or click the link in the conversation to join us, download Robinhood, and take your first step toward owning your future. Are you ready to put your brand in front of the people who matter? Black Westchester Magazine is your platform. With over 90,000 monthly website readers and more than 250,000 YouTube viewers every month, we give your business unmatched exposure. From email blasts straight to our subscribers, to video commercials, website promotions, and targeted campaigns, we've got the tools to help you connect, engage, and grow. Whether you're a local business, a national brand, a rising entrepreneur, or just promoting an upcoming event, Black Westchester is where culture, community, and commerce meet. Contact us today or scan the QR code and start building with us. Don't just advertise, be part of the movement, be part of Black Westchester, be Blacktastic. Black America first. Yeah, Black America first. Fix the house. Thank you for watching another Blacktastic episode of the People Before Politics show. Sunday Rundown, powered by Black Westchester Magazine. We appreciate every single one of you who tuned in, commented, shared the stream, and joined the conversation. Your support is the reason independent Black media continues to thrive and speak truth without fear. Every week, we show up to bring clarity, accountability, and real community insight to the stories that matter. And you show up with us. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or X, we want you to know that your voice, your engagement, and your presence make this platform stronger. Thank you for rocking with Damon K. Jones, AJ Woodson, and Larnez Kinsey as we break down the issues that many outlets ignore. And thank you for supporting a space where Black thought, Black leadership, and Black truth-telling still matter.